India is currently holding the largest democratic election in history, stretched over a period of 45 days. The election kicked off a week ago with the first of 7 election phases. Now, phase 2 is getting underway with polling across 13 states and union territories. A total of 88 seats in the Lok Sabha, the lower house of the Indian parliament, are being contested. Incumbent Prime Minister Narendra Modi is seeking a rare third term. He's also aiming for a supermajority, which could empower his Hindu-nationalist BJP party to change the constitution. Modi's challengers in the India alliance are seeking to end his rule, but are struggling to find a message that resonates. DW's Adil Bhat went to 2 neighbouring constituencies in northern India to get a taste of what's at stake.
Hail Lord Ram, they're shouting. The Hindu god plays a major part in elections here in the Hindi heartland of northern India. About a third of all Indians live here. It's a stronghold of Hindu-nationalist BJP of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The party puts Lord Ram center stage in its campaign here in the city of Meerut. Today, the line between real life and fiction is blurred. Arun Govil is a popular actor who played Lord Ram in the iconic television series Ramayana in the 1980s. Lord Ram has come to meet the voters, and he's a BJP candidate. Govil is a first-time candidate. He's not been involved in politics before. He's a huge fan of Prime Minister Modi, which seems to be his main motivation.
It's not my vision, it's Shri Narendra Modi's vision, which is the development. And to make a developed country. So it's his vision. We are just doing our work to make him strong, to make his hands strong, so that he could do whatever he thinks for this country.
Crowds wait to see him. He knows how to use his popularity and the emotions of his fans.
I'm not promising anything to them because as you see, we are not talking. We are just connecting through eyes, that's it.
Not far from the rally, support for the BJP appears strong. But you can find some critical voices.
This is the worst time for poor people and a good time for the rich people. Daily wagers like me are suffering and dying in these times.
I am very happy and excited to see that BJP Arun Govil has come to our town. It is good that BJP chose him as the candidate for elections.
Modi has done immense development work in a country like India where the population is only rising. That's the truth. He is like God for us.
The crowd gathered here in this rally is a testimony to the unwavering support that BJP has gained over the years. The party believes Prime Minister Modi's popularity will yet again be the defining factor to win this year's election.
But here in a neighboring city of Ghaziabad, Dolly Sharma tries to offer something else for the opposition alliance, the India Bloc. She has worked as spokesperson of the Indian National Congress Party and ran for mayor in Ghaziabad. Now she is challenging Modi's candidate in this constituency for the national parliament seat. Her main topics: women's safety and stopping changes to the constitution.
Democracy is in danger. We are looking at the instances wherein the chosen chief ministers are in jail.
Dolly has some supporters, but fighting for this seat is an uphill battle, she says.
Anyone who supports the ideology of the BJP is safe. These days, corruption charges are dropped against opposition leaders who joined the BJP party.
Back in Meerut, Govil reaps the benefit of merging the image of Lord Ram and his political campaign. That mixing of religion and politics worries many experts, who fear it could widen tears in India's social fabric.
Earlier, I spoke to our Delhi Bureau Chief, Sandra Petersman, who's been following this election marathon. I asked her for her impressions of the election so far.
Well, What I find most staggering is really how much the campaign of the ruling party, the BJP, is centered around Narendra Modi. He is the man, the face, the promise, the manifesto, the message to the voting people. And for many weeks now, Modi has been traveling up and down the country tirelessly. He really doesn't take a break. He's displaying huge energy. And if you look at the diverse opposition alliance of more than 20 parties from the very far left to the very far right, they really find it difficult to develop this one message that really reaches the voters. They are in fact spreading very diverse messages depending on the party who is uttering them and on the region this party is in. So the opposition also gets less TV coverage, and let's not forget that quite a few important leaders are behind bars on corruption charges. So Modi is standing out.
Now, this is a huge election spread out in multiple phases. The second phase is just getting underway. How would you describe the political mood in India at this point?
Well, the heat is definitely on. The gloves are off. Today, for instance, saw a judgment by the Supreme Court of India on India's famous electronic voting machines. 1.5 million of them will be used in these elections. And there are fears by civil society activists and also by the opposition that they could be tampered with. But the Supreme Court today said, let's carry on regardless. The machines are safe to use, and we carry on with this election. And if you look at the second phase and compare it with the one 5 years ago and the 2019 general elections, back then, out of those 88 seats, 50 went to the BJP, and a lot of observers here are not expecting anything else this time. But then there are still 5 more election phases to go. The Indian voters are pretty unpredictable. And like I said, the heat is on, the gloves are off. Campaigning is getting more aggressive, which could be seen by Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He stands accused of Islamophobic hate speech after a rally in Rajasthan last Sunday, where he said the following.
When Congress was in power, they said Muslims have the first right to the nation's wealth. This means they'll collect people's wealth and distribute it to whom? To those who have more children. To the infiltrators. Do you think your hard-earned money should be given to infiltrators? Would you accept this? This is what the Congress manifesto is saying.
Sandra, help us understand what Prime Minister Modi is saying there and why he thinks arguments like that will appeal to voters.
Well, this is discussed extremely controversial here in India. It really depends on who you ask. The opposition, especially the Congress party, is accusing him of othering the biggest minority of the country, the Muslims, trying to gain votes by going against them, by going against the secular nature of India's constitution. Congress is also accusing Modi of spreading disinformation about their manifesto. Now, at the same time, if you ask BJP supporters, they say that Prime Minister Narendra Modi has done nothing more than calling, I quote, a spade, that he is right in what he's saying, that this is what many people in India are thinking, and their bottom line is no harm has been done, and you cannot criticize the Prime Minister because he's always right.
If Modi does win this election, if he gets a third term and maybe even a supermajority, what can we expect? Where is he likely to lead that country?
Well, I think we will see an increasing emphasis on Hindu culture and Hindu religion. That is what Prime Minister Modi firmly believes in. This is what he has been displaying in the past 10 years. He's already ruling India since 2014. And if he really gets a third consecutive 5-year term, he will mix this message, the message of Hindutva, of Hindu first, with the promise of development. He wants India to become a developed nation by 2040-17. This year is carefully picked because it will mark 100 years of British independence from Great Britain. And of course, that wants to be marked by India being developed. That is Modi's big promise.
So when will we know, Sandra, when we get results from this election? Because it is a very drawn-out process.
It is a very drawn-out process. There are still 5 phases to go. The last voting phase will be on June 1st, and then the election results will all be counted on 4th of June. So by the midday in Europe on the 4th of June, we will know what the Indian voters have decided, if PM Modi really gets a 3rd consecutive term with a huge majority, which is what he wants.
Sandra, thank you very much. That was our Delhi Bureau Chief, Sandra Petersman.